Welcome everyone. Welcome to Pressure Crisp. My name is Lisa. Today we're going to be using this lovely oven. No, I still really like this oven. Everything I've made in it has been great. I'm trying to think. No, everything's been fantastic in this oven. Today, well, I whipped off a meatloaf yesterday. I didn't videotape it because I was out in the yard doing yard work. By the time I came back in, I'd have to shower, do this, but I had to get that meatloaf made for my mother this morning. So I did come home. We're just gonna make a plain old run-of-the-mill comfort food meatloaf. I'm not mixing my meats. We're just using straight beef today. I did the mixing of the meats for my mom yesterday. I don't have any more of that. But what I did have was straight up hamburger or burger bits. I like to call it burger bits. And yeah, come on over. Let's make a meatloaf in this great oven. And yeah, I wish I had potatoes, but I don't have any potatoes either. So we're not doing anything crazy. Like I said, we're just making run-of-the-mill. It's a recipe that, I'm trying to think. I did find it online, but I changed the, I use recipes online as a guide, and then you just change a few things and you make that recipe your own. So this is going to be one of the most simplest and easiest meatloafs that you're actually going to make. And you can have this in the oven in no time. I think the most time consuming part is cutting the oven. And like in my previous videos when I made meatloaf, I actually sauteed the onion. Whoops, that came out. I am not doing that today. We are going to chop this as fine as we can get it. You want this like super fine. There we go. And I'm trying to think how much am I going to use here. And I have a very bad habit. I don't measure anything, but I will put a recipe in the description for you guys. Once you make these things a few times, you don't even have to think, you just do. You just grab for what you need and just do. And I would use, because garlic is going in this today, I didn't pick up any fresh garlic because I planted it all the other day. I picked up some nice heirloom stuff and just planted some garlic. So this is like one medium onion. It's about that much. I didn't go all the way with those, but I'm going to save those for some potatoes in the cast iron fry pan. Those are the onions. This is about 1.5 pounds of burger bits, ground hamburger, minced meat, whatever you want to call it. You can mix your meats. You can use like pork, veal, and things like that. But I did that yesterday for my mom and delivered it this morning. And I just didn't have time to do a video yesterday. So you can use the meatloaf mix that you can buy in the store. I'm going to put these onions off to the side here. Now you're going to see how easy this comes together. This is all stuff that I just had in the refrigerator. This is some Worcestershire sauce. I'm just using the Heinz. I ran out of the Lee & Pairings. You're going to put in like a tablespoon of Worcestershire sauce. Heinz ketchup. Just give it a squirt. I usually just put a tablespoon in. You can put in like 2 tablespoons if you want to. And this might seem like an unusual ingredient. I am putting in like a teaspoon of Dijon mustard. Use whatever you have in the house. I'm going to put in like 3/4 to 1 teaspoon of kosher salt. Black pepper. Probably like a 1/2 teaspoon. You can go like 1/2 teaspoon to 3/4 if you want. I'm using some dried parsley. Like I said, you don't have to have anything fresh in the house if you don't want. It's about 1 tablespoon. And like I said with the garlic, I planted all my heirloom garlic yesterday. This is granulated garlic, probably like a 1/2 teaspoon. And did I forget anything? Oh, eggs. I'm adding 2 eggs. Oh, you know what I did forget? Well, I didn't forget. It's over here. And breadcrumbs. Breadcrumbs, to me, breadcrumbs are a personal thing. My father doesn't like breadcrumbs that much in his meatloaf, so I only add 1/2 cup to his. Now, if I'm making this like for me or some other people, I will go ahead and add 1 cup of breadcrumbs. But like I said, that's personal choice. And yes, I'm just running back to the fridge, picking up some milk. I'm using whole milk. It's about a half a cup of milk. If you don't have milk, use half and half. If you don't have that, use some evaporated milk. Just use whatever you have in the house. And I think that's it. What I like to do, the egg's already broken, so you don't have to worry about that. And you're just going to mix this. You can put gloves on if you want. I'm just using my hands. And I know it doesn't look like much yet, but trust me, it'll all come together in the end. It's kind of like the A-Team from the 80s. I like it when a plan comes together. I think that's how they said it. Well, if anybody out there is around my age and can correct me on the A-Team from the 80s, yeah. I love it when a plan comes together. And this might seem too loose to you right now, but trust me, it all comes together in the end. But you can use your favorite meatloaf recipe. Just use whatever recipe you want. I'm just showing you this is a basic, super easy, super quick meatloaf recipe. So I usually put peppers and everything in mine. But today I said, you know something? I don't have any peppers in the house. I planted my garlic. So I did have burger bits. Had a few other things. And yeah, it all comes together. It's going to make a terrific meal. I just wish I had potatoes to go with this. I do have roasted potatoes, but I did want to show you guys that you can bake potatoes along with this meatloaf, because this meatloaf it's pretty small. And they cook in around the same time. So I made a meatloaf yesterday. I think it was 1.25 pounds. Like almost 1.5 pounds. This is about 1.5 pounds of ground beef right here. Beautiful. Whoops. I'm using a simple, plain old loaf pan. You can freeform this and use the pans that came with it, just like that. Just put it right in there. What I'm going to do, just going to take your hand, and this is how easy this can be. I mean, the cooking time is the longest part of this whole recipe. And that means you can just pop this in this oven, let it cook. And you can add like a baked potato now because it takes around the same time for a baked potato. Or you can make scallop potatoes, whatever you want to make. Beautiful. And yeah, I probably should have preheated that oven, but I was running my mouth. We're going to turn this oven on. I'm going to keep it on bake because I just used this yesterday. So it's on bake. The time, I'm going to bump this up. It took about 55 minutes yesterday. I'm going to keep it on 55 minutes. And temp, we're going to keep it on 350. Now the rack, it says to use rack 3. You know something? Excuse me. I don't want the top so brown. And yesterday I just left the rack on 1 and it worked out perfectly. So I am going to go ahead and hit start. I should have hit it before so I could preheat. And yeah, my oven's dirty. I'm going to let this preheat, and then we're just going to pop the lovely meatloaf in there. Boom! And she's preheated. I'm going to open this guy up. I'm just going to pop it in just like this. Close it up. And we're counting down. Turn the light on. Isn't that nice? It's so cool. I'm going to tell you what. I'm going to see you in 50 minutes. All right, so I lied. I actually am back in 5 minutes. I'm going to get my mise en place on. We're going to make a glaze for this guy. That's a little over 1/4 cup. It's probably like a 1/2 cup. 1/2 cup of ketchup of your choice. Let me get these mustard things open. I'm adding a little bit of mustard, probably like a tablespoon. Now, a lot of your recipes call for brown sugar. I'm just not too keen on brown sugar. I think the ketchup is sweet enough, but if you want this glaze just a bit sweeter, you can go ahead and add like a tablespoon of brown sugar. I'm just going to add a little bit of Worcestershire sauce, or Worcestershire, or Worcester. We're going to call it Worcester. There's a town in Massachusetts, Worcester, Mass. We're going to call it that. And all I'm going to do, I'm going to whisk this all together. We're a little bit heavy on the mustard, but just gives it like a different flavor. The glaze is done, so we just gotta wait for this guy to get done. So we have 7 minutes left. I just want to take a look. I want to temp. Just going to pull it out just a bit. Let me stab it right in the middle there. All right, we're 145, 150. So I think what I'm going to do, I'm not sure how stable that is because it tilts up just a bit. I am going to take that glaze. I'm going to take the glaze and just put it right on here. Just going to let it brown up. Now if you want more of a red glaze, don't use as much mustard. I just wanted a bit more mustard flavor today. And yeah, this thing actually cooks up beautifully. Oops. Oh yeah, I can smell the mustard. This is going to be really good. Why is that stuck in my head? Alright, push it back in. Boom. And I'm going to let it cook probably for the last 7 minutes. Because it's going to bring it up to 150 something, and then the carryover will bring it up to 165. You know that old saying, hindsight's always 20/20? Yeah. Maybe what I should have done, I should have moved the rack and placed it closer to the top to brown up the glaze a bit more. But once again, hindsight is always 20/20. It's coming out great. We have like 15 seconds left, and we're gonna pull it. As you can tell, it's shrunk away from the sides just a bit, but this is like a super moist meatloaf, and yeah, I hope you guys like it. Oh look, it's like you're already here with me. Oh, there we go. Let's open it up. I am going to do a quick temp just to verify, because everybody always wants me to do that. I know it's done, but I don't want everybody else to freak out. Boom, done. That's going to be massively carried over. Alright, so what I'm going to do is use my handy dandy mitts. Oh, that's slippery. Maybe I should use a dish towel. Here we go. Look at that, guys. Very minimal grease in there. Can you see that? Let me go back a bit. Whoa, it's moving. Yeah. I'm going to let this cool for just a bit. And I'm going to take it out of that pan. And we're going to slice it and do that taste test. And yeah, as you guys can see, I really need to, I know it's hot in here, but I got to, because it doesn't come off like, if I get in there with soap and water, it doesn't. I've tried the power wash and everything, but I don't want to use, well, you could use harsh chemicals here in here if you wanted to. Because you use them in a regular oven. It's all in what people want. And you know something? It's perspective. And I'm just looking at the top. The top's not that bad yet. Look, the fan's still going. Alright, close her up. So, meatloaf. 1.5 pound meatloaf, 55 minutes, 350, bake function. It says rack 3, we use rack 1. Oh my, look at this beauty. Yes, it is a loaf of meat. It's shorter on this end and thicker on that end. Oh well. She's a little defective, but she's going to taste wonderful. And you know something? I let this sit in that pan for maybe a minute, a quick minute. Now, I'm going to have to, this is like a super moist meatloaf. It truly is. Honest to God. And we're just going to take your lovely knife. I'm going to try, I don't want to touch it because it's still hot and I'll get my hands all greasy. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, look at those juices flowing. Yeah, I think it's, yeah, let's cut one more piece. Look how easy this knife goes right through that. Oh, gorgeousness. Super duper. Oops, my glaze came off. Beautiful. Look at this. I mean, whip this off. Took a few minutes to make. And yeah, 55 minutes to bake at 350. I can smell the Worcestershire sauce. All right, this is a big platter. All right, look at this. Let's go for it. Hot. Okay, this is super good. Super simple, super easy, super good. It's moist. It's, yeah. Guys, if you just want a quick evening meal, or what I like to do with this, oh look, I always forget this up here. Let me put this down here. What I like to do a lot of times, I'll make one of these and sometimes not eat it for dinner, but I will make meatloaf sandwiches for the next day for lunch. Fantastic. So, yeah. Oh, look at that. Thank you so much for watching, and yeah, stay tuned for more videos. This is getting heavy. And I've been sauced. I've been sauced. Thanks, everybody.